Hello guys, and welcome back to our next lesson. During our previous lesson, we saw how to create a home page for our website, which is basically going to be our landing page. In this lesson, we are going to start building our home page, and we are going to start with the hero section. Without wasting further time, let's jump right in. Now that we are done creating our page, let's go ahead and design it to make it a nice landing page. And we are going to be using the Elementor page builder to design our page. To do that, first of all, let's go ahead and install the Elementor page builder. So I go to the backend of my website, hover on plugins, click on add new plugin. Under search plugin, I search for Elementor. I have it right here. I click on install now. It is installed. I will need another plugin called premium add-ons for Elementor. I click on install now. They are all installed. I can go to the plugins page. Then I go ahead and activate them at once. So I select them, I click on bulk actions, activate, apply. And now my two plugins are activated. Now if I go to the front end of my website, I go ahead and click on edit page. And from here, I click on edit with Elementor. I can exit from here and here as well. The first thing I do is take off the title here. I don't need it. So what I do is come over to the gear icon right here, that is page settings, click on it. From here, scrolling down, under page layout, I drop down the arrow, then I choose Elementor full width. And the Elementor builder will reload. Now the title is gone. Now let's start designing our page. The first thing I do is add a new container. So I click on the plus icon here, then I choose flexbox. I'm going to use the first structure. Next, I'll go over to add element right here. Then I go ahead and add in another container. So I'll just drag it and drop it inside. Next, I go over to add element again. This time around, I'll add a heading element. I drag it inside the inner container. And from here, I enter my text. I want my text to be in 2 lines. So what I do is I come over here. After the website, I close the space. Then I enter this tag. And that is break. This tag will enable me to have my text in 2 lines. Next, I go over to style. I will center it. Next, I go to typography, and the size, I will make it 130 pixels. Next, I go to elements, and I'm going to go ahead and add text editor right under my title. And this way I enter my text. I take this off, then I enter in my text. Next, I go over to style, and I'll center it. The size of my text is not going to be changed because I'm using the default size from the theme customizer. Next, I go over to elements, and I'm going to add a new container right under my text editor. Inside the new container, I'll add another container like this. And I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this one. That is the inner one. So I hover on it, right click, then I click on duplicate. And you see that the containers are being stacked on top of each other, and I want it to be in a column form. So what I do is hover on the outer container like this, and the layout, I change the direction to row horizontal. Next, I go over to elements, and I'm going to go ahead and add in a button in here, and the text is going to be book a call. Don't worry, the link, we leave it as hashtag for now. I'll be showing you how we enter the link right here later on. Next, I go over to style. The position, I'll set it to right. Typography, I'm going to increase the font size to 20. I exit from here. Under normal, text color is going to be my color 4. And then background color, I click on the color right here, and I'm going to go ahead and take off the color completely. Next, I go over to border type, and I'll choose solid. Border width, I'll enter 2 so that it will run throughout. Going down, border radius is going to be 0 so that it will be sharp. And then padding, I'll unlink the values. Top is going to be 20, and then right will be 50, bottom will be 20, and finally left will be 50. Now, what do we want to see when we hover on it? So I go up, then I click on hover. Text color upon hover is going to be white. So I'll go ahead and choose my color 8, and then background color, I'll use color 2. And now you begin to see my sticky effect on the header and also the scroll to top, simply because we now have something on the page. Perfect. Next, let's add in some revisions. So I go to elements, then I search for rating. I have it here. I just drop it in here. The scale, I'm going to leave it as 5. If I enter, for instance, 10, you'll see 10 stars. So I'll leave it as 5. Next, I go over to style. The size is going to be 11, and the spacing is going to be 2. Next, I go over to add elements, and I add in a text editor right under the rating. In here, I go ahead and enter my reviews. So I have 40 plus Google reviews. Next, I go over to style, and the size, I will change it to 20. You see that there's much space in between the rating and then the text. I go over to advanced, I unlink the values and the margin. At top, I'll enter -20. Perfect. I want the content here to be in line with the button here. So what I do is select the outer container like this. And the layout, I make sure center is selected under justify. And then align items, I choose center. And you see the movement. Let's hide this to take a look. This is kind of cool. Awesome. And now let's add our next section. So I click on the plus icon, flex box, and I'm going to go ahead and use the first container. I go over to elements, and I'm going to go ahead and add in an image like this. I click on it to choose my image, and this is the image I'm going to use. I select it, then I click on select. Next, I go over to style, and the border type, I'll choose solid, and then the border width, and then the border width, I'll make it 15 pixels. So with this, if users land on my website, for the fact that a portion of this image is showing, they may want to see the rest of the image by scrolling. So that's it on how we design the hero section of our home page. In the meantime, you can stick around to watch the next lesson on your screen right now. Keep watching, and I will see you in the next lesson.